Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for the Fire Situation Report for Monday, July 18th, 2016. I'm Lynn Tomachoff, coming to you live today from the CAL FIRE Information Center. So let's get started talking about last week. We saw over 340 new wildfires, bringing our year-to-date total to over 3,400 wildfires across the state. This is quite an increase, but let's go ahead and take a look and see what we've got. Firefighters were very successful this past weekend, thanks in part to the weather that we had. So we'll start with the Dunnigan fire here, just off of I-5 in Yolo County. Fire grew to 84 acres. It's been 100% contained. Firefighters, once again, like I said, very successful there. We'll move over here to the Trailhead fire. Now this fire has been going on for quite a bit. It's quite a large fire. Over 5,646 acres, but we're happy to say it is 100% contained. Now this fire has been in the news a little bit. We did have some drone operators flying in the early stages of the fire, which caused us to have to put our aircraft back down on the ground, and it caused the fire to increase in size greatly. So once again, just as a reminder, use this fire as an example. If you fly, we can't. So drone operators, be very careful with what you're doing with your drones out there. So let's go ahead and move on here across the state. Let's head a little bit further south here, and we'll go down to Calaveras County, where we have the Pacheco fire just off of Lanford-Pacheco Road, south of the community of Valley Springs. This fire rapidly grew to over 341 acres, but is now 100% contained. And just south of there, the community of Copperopolis saw a 35-acre fire known as the Stagecoach fire. This fire, once again, this was also quickly brought under control. We'll move over here. Oh, sorry, here we go. We got a picture of the Pacheco fire. Like I said, started on July 12th, just south of Community Valley Springs. Firefighters got on it pretty quickly. A lot of aircraft, 341 acres. That fire is completely contained. So we'll go back here to the map. Let's move on a little bit further down the state here into Kern County. We'll go to the Green Fire, just near the community of Prather, contained at 123 acres. This fire completely contained. And then over here, we have the Big Fire, east of the community of Clovis, 188 acres. That was contained back on July 13th. And then we'll move back on out here. We'll go over to the a little bit further south and over to our east. Get my map here to work real quick. Here we go. Down to the community of Bakersfield, Kern County. We have the Famosa fire. Fire was actually contained to 138 acres. We have a good picture here of this fire. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. Started on July 15th, like I said, contained to 138 acres. The fire is completely out. Firefighters did a great job there. We'll move over here. Also in Kern County, we have the Onyx fire just outside of the community of Onyx, east of the community also of Lake Isabel, a little bit bigger landmark there. Contained to 221 acres. Firefighters did a great job on that one. So let's go ahead and move a little bit further south here, down into Los Angeles County. We have the Sage fire. This one was on the news quite a bit. Very visible fire just off of Interstate 5, southwest of the community of Santa Clarita. Burned just over 1,100 acres, threatened many homes. Firefighters did get that fire 100% contained on July 16th. And we'll go ahead and go down to our very last fire we have here to talk about in the state. It's going to be known as the Briggs fire here in Riverside County, Romo Land. This fire was contained at 173 acres quite quickly by firefighters. That was contained back on July 15th. Let me just remind you, if you have any questions, go ahead and submit those. We'll try and get those answered as best we can. See what we can do to get the information out to you. Let's go ahead and move on to the weather for the week. Now, like I said, firefighters were able to get a lot of fires contained over the weekend. The weather, although it was hot for a couple of days, did cool down, gave firefighters a chance of getting the upper hand on those fires. So we'll start with the high temperatures. Today, as you can see, it's very mild across the state. Only 84 in Sacramento, 74 in Lake Tahoe, 94 in Fresno, which is high, but it's pretty cool for Fresno. Los Angeles, San Diego, still in the 70s. Very unusual. As you can see, light colors across the state, but pretty rapidly by Friday, the 22nd, we're looking at quite a bit of warm-up, getting a little bit warmer temperatures, 94 Sacramento, Los Angeles, San Diego up into the 80s, Fresno into 99 degrees. So definitely going to warm up by the end of the week. And then we'll also see the humidity change too. So today, once again, staying pretty mild, 36% in Sacramento, 14 in Lake Tahoe, that's pretty normal for Lake Tahoe, 15 Fresno, 60s, 50s down in San Diego County. And once again, by the end of the week, along with the temperatures coming up, humidity is going to drop. So we're going to have that same problem. That will increase our chances of fires for sure, down to 20% in Sacramento by the end of the week. We'll move on here to the winds. So this is kind of a big topic today. This is over the next 48 hours, the type of wind gusts that we're going to see across the state. Probably the most important thing is up here in northeastern California, along with the Tahoe Basin here, we're expected to see some gusts upwards of 30 to 35 miles per hour. Now that, along with that 14% humidity you saw on the previous page, is going to increase the fire danger out there. We are under a red flag warning for these areas. So if you're going to be out and about, be very, very careful. Do not spark a wildfire. It will cause it to grow very rapidly if that should happen. So let's go ahead and move on to our high-risk county. So we've got some information here for you guys. The tree mortality, this is definitely a big issue. We've seen unprecedented fire behavior that we've seen so far this summer has made even more dangerous the levels of tree mortality. These 10 counties that you see here listed are our highest mortality areas. We're seeing the largest number of dead trees in these counties. They are at great risk for large wildfires, so it's very, very dangerous. So we want to talk about that. If you live in these counties, very important for you to remember, you need to know when to go. It's very important. Make sure you have two ways out. Make sure you practice these routes, you know them by heart, and that everybody in your family also knows these routes, because everybody needs to know how to get out. The other important thing, leave early. If you can't get out, we can't get in. And don't necessarily wait to be told to get out. If you feel unsafe or you're uncomfortable, load up and get out. There's nothing wrong with doing that. If if we can get you back in quickly, that's better than if we can't get you out at all and a wildfire is coming your way. Also, the other thing, visitors. If you're in the area, you need to be very aware, especially if you don't understand what's going on, particularly in these counties. These dead trees, there's thousands, millions of these dead trees. They're very unsafe. So if you're going to go, say, camping, make sure you don't park or set your tent up underneath, especially a particularly dense section of these dead trees. They're unstable, limbs are falling, other parts falling off the trees. They are very dangerous that way. And the other thing is you got to be very cautious. Wildfires, they spark very easily this time of the year. We don't want to have that happen because, particularly in these areas, once a wildfire starts, it can be very dangerous. They will spread very, very rapidly. So definitely something to keep in mind. And as far as getting in and out of where you're at, especially if you're a visitor to one of these counties, make sure you check with the local officials. Get the information on evacuation routes and also how extreme a level of mortality that you're in. Some areas are worse than others, but many, many areas, especially where people love to recreate, are definitely seeing a large amount of dead trees and dying trees due to the bark beetle and tree mortality. So let's go ahead and see if we can take a question or two here. We have Mike and Cassie asking, do we have any good moisture for the forecast in Southern California? It's not expected to get any rain or see any kind of moisture down there. Southern California is expected to stay dry for quite a while. We don't see any signs of any precip coming in the near future. So once again, even though temperatures are cooler, just stay alert, because even though temperatures are cooler, we haven't seen rain. Everything is still dry and ready to burn. So that's definitely very important. Let's see, we've got Helen asks, what is the main sources of these fires? Is it carelessness? It can be, absolutely. There's a number of causes for fires throughout the state of California. Over 95% of wildfires in California are caused by humans. So we have to be very, very careful when we're out and about, even just doing daily things such as driving our car. Don't pull over into dead grass. It's something as simple as that. So just keep in mind when you're out there, California is just one of those states that has wildfires, and it's something we live with on a daily basis. So that was it for today. We appreciate you joining us, and we hope you have a fire-safe week.